What's up everyone and welcome back to another trade recap video. I'm going to be going over the trades that I took today, November 17th. Took two very quick scalp trades on Tesla and made $420. Also, I experienced something a little off today. So I've been using Lightspeed for about 4 months now and I switched over from Interactive Brokers. The reason that I switched from Interactive Brokers is because towards the end of me using them, I started to experience a little bit of platform lag and had some issues with fills. And I knew that I eventually wanted to be back at Lightspeed because that's where I started in the very beginning of my trading journey. And it was kind of a goal to get back there. I made that switch and everything has been great up to the last couple days. I started to notice that the fills have been just slightly off. I want to see if anybody else has been experiencing the same thing. And I have some really good examples of that today. Now, overall, I'm still getting filled quickly, but compared to a lot of those prior videos, the fills are basically instant, whereas now they're getting hung up a little bit. Not exactly sure what's going on, and I'm only trading small size. It's one thing if I was trading big size 10, 15, 20 plus contracts, I could understand, but being that I'm only trading 3, it's a little confusing. I've reached out to Lightspeed. They're going to figure out what's going on, but I just want to see if anybody else has experienced the same thing. Okay, so now let's get into the watch list. Today I was looking at Tesla, Netflix, Amazon, Airbnb, and Lucid. So now let's get into the technicals and why I like these names today, starting with Netflix, trading right near all-time high. If Netflix is going to make a new all-time high, I obviously want to have that on watch. So the main level that I was looking at was that all-time high, which was 690.97. And now Amazon, and the reason why I liked it is because it's forming a bit of a flag pattern on the daily above the 9 EMA, knowing that 3,600 is a big area of resistance. If it could clear that, I felt like it had a chance to catch momentum. And now Airbnb, and the reason why I like this, it was forming a bit of a flag pattern on the daily. That's not a perfect flag, but the stock market is not perfect. Just realizing that it's had a big move a couple days ago. It's holding that move, and this prior high is 211.34. So if it could take out that flag high right around 209, 210, and then this prior high 211.34, I felt like it had a chance to catch momentum. And now Lucid, and the reason why I was watching this is because it was trading a lot of volume in the pre-market. It was very active, very extended on the daily chart, so it was due for a pullback. It does not mean it has to. So the main levels that I was looking at was going to be pre-market high to the upside and pre-market low to the downside. So now Tesla, and the reason why I was looking at this is because I watch this every day. It's my favorite stock to trade. What happened recently on the daily? It held this big psychological 1,000, huge area of support. Had a nice move off that, was trading higher in the pre-market. It was right near the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA on the daily. So I felt like if it could hold above that, maybe it had a chance to catch some momentum to the upside because it has been beaten up recently. So the main levels that I was looking at was pre-market high and pre-market low. So now let's get into the actual trades themselves. And you're going to see as far as execution, I use my hot buttons and I even experiment with just the main buy and sell button on the level 2 to see if one or the other is causing any problems. Like I always talk about in my videos and when I get questions on social media, in order to figure out a solution to something, it really is just a ton of trial and error. The same thing when it comes to trading to figure out what works best for you. So Tesla is now consolidating sideways, was a little whippy off the open, was below VWAP, failed to break down, got back above VWAP, above the 9 EMA. If Tesla makes a new high of day, I think this looks pretty good for an upside opening range break. So I actually switched the quantity down to 3. And now I just want to see if this takes out the high, which is 1,068.99. I want to be long and try to take it for a momentum move. So Tesla's just hanging around 1,068. And if this starts to speed up, I want to be long. So I anticipate the high day break right there. I go long 3 1,070 calls and I get filled at $20.35. And I really wanted to give this a chance. But I saw this come into 1,070. It broke, which is good. And I just want to see, can this really get going? And then as it comes back below 170, I end up getting out of the trade because when it comes to Tesla, I really want to see it go quick or I just get out. And then it came back below that 170, started to show a bit of weakness. I probably got out a little prematurely, but being that Tesla is a huge mover, sometimes it can have those fake breakouts. I did not want to be involved in a stuff. So when it started to show that weakness, I just got out and I sold those 3 contracts at $21.05. I ended up using the main buy button on the level 2 to get in. The fill seemed okay. And then I actually used the sell market hot button to get out and the fill seemed okay as well. So now let's get into the second trade on Tesla. So it has a really big move up, clearly has caught momentum. This was not the cleanest pattern in the world, and I took it long, so this shows that I am not perfect. I try to wait for those patterns, but sometimes I do take them when they're not great, and I did here. So I'm going for the new high a day right around 1,085, and you can see that I actually used the buy 3 ask hot button, and it did hang up for a second. So even though it still got filled, it took a little bit longer to fill than normal, just compared to the other fills in the prior videos. But now I just want to see this 1,085 clear, and I want to see it really start to catch momentum. I am also knowing in the back of my mind that this is a chase. This is pretty far away from VWAP. It is above the 9 EMA, but that's numerous candles in a row. And then look at that order right here. So I used the market order hot button to get out, and it hung up there for a handful of seconds. I'm only trading 3 contracts at a time, and that filled as if I had 30 or 40. It was one at a time and very slow. Overall, it was still quick, but you can see that it just hung there for a bit before it finally got filled, and that's not normal. Usually when I click whether it be the hot button or even just the buy and sell on the level 2, those fills are basically instant. I'm sure everything is going to be all right moving forward, but this shows sometimes some of the things that you have to deal with as a trader and then just figure out how to solve that problem. I've already talked to Lightspeed and they're looking into it, and it also could be something on my end. Maybe I have an internet issue, so just using trial and error to figure out what's going on and hopefully fix it. Welcome to trading. It's not easy, and there's also things that happen to come up that you just have to deal with. And after those 2 trades, I just decided to call it a day. So to check out the P&L, made 210 on the first trade, 210 on the second trade to be up 420 on the day. Feel like I could have done slightly better, but overall, making 400 plus on the day, I'm happy about it. So that was the trade recap. Appreciate you watching the video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just wanted to highlight a couple cool things I have to offer. The first is going to be my newsletter watch list. This is going to be what I post on my private Twitter 30 minutes before market open every day. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a very quick highlight of the SPY, the Qs, the bigger picture, the upside level that I'm looking at, the downside level that I'm looking at, the market news or the catalyst that day. And then I'm going to list 4 to 6 names that I'm watching, my favorites that day, and then the catalyst behind them if there's any news, the bigger picture idea, what's going on the daily chart, and then the levels to the upside and the downside. And then I add some mental notes at the bottom, kind of what I'm thinking that day, make sure to keep my expectations in check and follow my process. And the second thing is going to be a one-on-one call. So if you want something that's less of a commitment and you just want to talk to me about my process and how I approach the market, this is going to be great. It's a one-on-one live call for 1 hour. So if you're interested in any one of these 2 things, there will be links in the description below. Feel free to check them out.